What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, a very interesting one for Friday the 13th the game fans out there. Perhaps one that will upset you, but also I think one that should make you excited, all right? I think it also will make you excited for Gun Media's next game. Wes Keltner, co-creator of Friday the 13th the game, CEO over at Gun Media, came to Twitter today and just said, hey, enough time has passed. Here's some F13 content that we were forced to stop making. And some of this stuff we kind of already knew about, but we got some more details. But there's one in particular I find really, really cool. First of all, Slumber Party. We did have plans for a Slumber Party clothing pack for F13. It was all the counselors in sleepwear attire. I actually set up a real-life 1-800 phone number that works like an automated phone sex line. You could call it in real life. It had a pre-recorded message of counselors saying silly, sexy stuff like those dumb commercials from the 80s and 90s. It would have been fun. These assets were here in the code, but the judge ruled that it wasn't marketably viable, meaning it needed to pass console certification, and it wasn't ready for that. So, it might have looked done, but not in the eyes of the court. The Slumber Party clothing pack is something we already knew about. It's been leaked a million times. I've even shown it off right here on the channel, but just to know that the detail that they were willing to put in, even for something as simple as a Slumber Party clothing pack, like the 1-800 phone number that we could have actually called in real life and heard the voices that we know and love from the game, I think that would have been super cool, and that's just above and beyond. It's something that they didn't have to do, and it sucks that we never actually got to see it in action because, hey, the lawsuit. All right, let's move on to the next piece of content that was canceled. This one, we've never even heard about. This is super cool. I love this idea. Prom. We also planned a prom pack, which would also include some props in-game. We wanted to turn Crystal Lake into prom night. Tuxes, dresses, dance floor, that type of thing. We were modeling the dance floor like the one from the ship in Part 8. Even talked about turning the bird bath into a punch bowl, but allowing Jason to still use it as a kill spot. This to me would have been so cool because there are so many things you could have done for it. I basically would have been like a prom map in a way where, you know, you could even have the cars that are, you know, fancier versions of 1980s vehicles. They could have like prom night written on the back or things like that. You could have lights streamed across the buildings and all decked up and red carpets going into certain buildings. They could have gone really crazy with this. The options were limitless. It would have been so cool to see it. That's just one more thing, completely unnecessary. Doesn't necessarily change the gameplay at all, but it's just, you know, a quote-unquote above and beyond. It would have been super cool to see and just added some, you know, spice to the game. And that's ultimately what the game needs now. And that's why this content is so crucial for keeping games like this alive. It's because you get used to things, you get bored of it, per se. F13, I don't really, even now, I can jump in, have a great time any day of the week. But still, to have more things to do, more versatility, adds replayability. And this would have been something cool to play along with. Another big one here, Paranoia. Yes, it was a new game mode, kind of similar to Among Us. Everyone spawns as counselors, no Jason. You have to find the Part 5 mask. Then you become Jason. We discussed forcing the player to have to hide to change back and forth, perhaps the Amor closet thing. The player could be killed if in counselor mode. If killed, they drop the mask on the ground for the next counselor to pick up and become Part 5 Jason. We were building new escapes for this game mode that required 2+ counselors to escape, like holding open a gate, etc. It had moments of fun, but it needed more work. In Paranoia, we already knew it was a new game mode, we just didn't exactly know what it entailed, and we did know the reason that it didn't come out was because they said it wasn't quite fun enough, and it needed work. So that's kind of where we were at with it when the lawsuit kicked in. We knew it was a thing, we knew they were working on it, it just never got to that release point, and obviously now is never going to. There is still a Paranoia mode inside of the files, and you probably have seen it leaked, in this re/edition version of the game, but it's like a very broken version of Paranoia and does not play how they intended it, I'm sure, but still, you can get a piece of it there. It would have been really cool to have a different game mode in general, and who knows what other future game modes could have come alongside. Things similar to Paranoia, maybe even team-based things, etc. There's a lot of things you could have done in this Friday the 13th world that wasn't just, here's one Jason, here's 7 counselors, and that's it. They probably could have mixed it up quite a bit. And one more piece to the Paranoia news here. Wes also tweeted a poster that they were going to use for promoting the game mode, and it's like a Yahoo-style poster. It's super cool. I just want to get that printed right now, put it on the wall where it belongs to be seen. It sucks that something as cool as this was made up and designed, and it never really got to see the light of day. But still, glad we got to see it now. And closing thoughts here from Wes. He said, I felt enough time has passed to share these things with you. I know they are bittersweet. Some will lament, some will think they're cool ideas, some will be angry. I understand that anger. I feel it too. But I wanted you to all know that we love this franchise and this game. We had big ideas for it, ideas that we thought y'all would think were fun, engaging, and rewarding. We wish it would have worked out differently. And of course, all of us as players and fans, we feel the exact same way. Of course, we wish things were differently. We wish the lawsuit not only wasn't ruining the game, but wasn't ruining the franchise in general. You know, no new movies coming out. All we're getting is Blu-ray releases. That's it. And half of them aren't even good. So that's where we're at with that. Wes did have one more thing to say, and this one relates to their next game. He said, a big heartfelt thank you to all the kind comments. Seriously, I smiled and teared up a couple of times. Thank you. If you like the attention to detail in F13, I think you're going to enjoy our next game. No stone left unturned. We went deep because that's what fans do. And that's exactly why, even though F13 had its flaws, some of that comes back to Horror Inc. and some of it comes back to Delphonic. But of course, some of it comes back to Gun Media. And Gun Media definitely made mistakes in this journey that was F13. But, I mean, look how new they were at the time. Look how much their team has expanded since then. But no matter the mistakes they made, what I do know F13 did and was and is a complete, love and passion for the genre and the franchise. And that's why I'm excited to see what Gun does next, because if they're taking on another IP, whether that's, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street, it doesn't really matter what it is. I know they're going to do it well. And they're going to put just as much love as we would want them to put into it. And that's why I'm excited to see what they're doing next, regardless of what was F13, love or hate it. But it does seem like Wes was testing the waters a little bit here to see how people would respond. And since most people responded maturely and were happy to see the things that he was talking about here, I'm assuming Wes will come back and reveal even more information. And I'll continue to share it with you because I imagine most of you like me and find this extremely exciting. Even if we will never get to play these things, it's cool to know what could have been. I'm that kind of person. I'm a half, glass half full kind of guy. So it's cool to see what could have been. But hey, let me know your thoughts on everything we just shared here today in the comments below. That's going to wrap up this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. And of course, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.